Welcome to the Deep Dive. So we've gone through the stack of sources you shared, the articles, the research, all the historical texts, and our mission today is, well, it's pretty ambitious. We want to try and bypass all the usual geopolitical noise, the simplistic stuff you see in the media about Iran.
Right.
We're going on a kind of archaeological dig. We're focusing on the historical, the cultural, the deeply human foundation of this country. Historically, Persia.
Yeah.
We're basically hunting for the resilience, the unexpected connections, and the intellectual drivers that really define its people.
And that search, it absolutely requires historical scope. We're talking about a civilization with over 5 millennia of continuous existence.
What millennia? Just let that sink in.
Exactly. Think about the sheer weight of that history. You have these vast empires like the Achaemenid Empire under Cyrus the Great.
Whose charter is often called like an early declaration of human rights, right?
It is, yeah. And then you have the powerful Sasanian state. But what really stands out to me looking at these sources is this persistent thread of resilience. Because it's one thing to be ancient, it's something else entirely to survive, endless conquests and still maintain continuity in your language, your culture, your intellectual life.
That continuity,
Yeah.
that's the critical hinge, isn't it? It just shifts the whole frame.
Yeah, it does.
It means that modern Iranians aren't just sort of admirers of ancient history from a distance.
No, not at all.
They see themselves as the active heirs of a civilization that historically was this bridge between the classical world and the Eastern empires. So yeah, we want to extract those deep cultural drivers that inform how they see themselves today.
As a people defined by their roots, enduring roots.
Okay, so let's unpack this. When we talk about this enduring legacy, what are the specific cultural touchstones that persist daily? Where does the past feel most alive?
It's integrated right into daily life, especially through language and literature. You mentioned resilience. So how does a culture keep its identity when its political systems just keep falling?
Well, a huge part of the answer is Farsi, the Persian language. After the Islamic conquest, Arabic became the language of administration, but Farsi survived.
Yeah.
And it survived in large part because of giants like Ferdowsi.
The poet.
The poet, exactly.
Yeah.
His epic poem, the Shahnameh, which means Book of Kings, it didn't just codify the language. It preserved the pre-Islamic history, and that made sure the historical thread of Iranian continuity was never, ever broken.
So is it a conscious act of cultural preservation through art?
Exactly.
That's fascinating. Literature as a kind of defensive mechanism against cultural erasure. But what about the poets people read and recite today?
Oh, they're everywhere. Those classical poets, Hafez, Rumi, Sari, they're still recited in homes and schools constantly.
Constantly.
And they aren't just appreciated for, beautiful language. They actually function as ethical and philosophical guides.
So how does that work in practice? Well, Hafez particularly. His use of profound allegory is key. His poetry often allowed for subtle social commentary, even critique, during times when direct political speech was just not possible.
So it's layered.
Deeply layered. It taught generations how to communicate complex truths through nuance. So when you encounter a line of Hafez, you're taking part in this long tradition of seeking ethical guidance and sometimes a kind of coded intellectual freedom.
So it serves as a living moral and intellectual curriculum, one that actually encourages critical thinking through all that nuance. That's a deep dive right there.
Exactly. And that sophistication, it translates visually too. You just have to think about the artistic heritage. The technical mastery is immense.
You mean like the tile work?
The stunning tile work you see on historical mosques and palaces, yes, where geometric patterns are actually communicating complex mathematical ideas, but also the complexity of calligraphy, the incredible detail in miniature painting.
And the music.
And the music. Iranian music uses these sophisticated classical modal systems, the dasgas. They're played on instruments like the santur.
That's the hammered dulcimer, right?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful ringing sound.
That's the one. And the tar and sitar, which are different lutes, and the very melancholic kamancha, the spike fiddle. The music isn't just entertainment. It's a profound vehicle for spiritual reflection. It links directly to the poetry.
That richness is so clear. But with 5 millennia of history and all these interactions with dozens of cultures and empires, where did the friction points show up? How does a civilization manage that much complexity without just fracturing?
And that brings us right to the core issue of syncretism and inclusion.
Okay.
So while the majority of the population follows 12 or Shia Islam, and that identity became politically dominant centuries ago, the country itself has always been a mosaic.
Mosaic.
And the key insight from the sources is that this diversity often leads to active engagement, not just, passive tolerance.
Give us an example of that. What does active engagement look like beyond just coexisting?
Well, the religious landscape includes Sunni Muslims, of course, but also these incredibly ancient communities like the Zoroastrians.
Right, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions.
It is, and their customs, like Nowruz, the Persian New Year, are widely embraced by everyone, no matter their faith.
That's huge.
It is, because this widespread adoption of a deeply rooted pre-Islamic custom by the whole nation, it strengthens the sense of a shared, continuous Iranian identity that goes beyond just religious distinctions. And you also find these thriving ancient communities, Armenian and Assyrian Christians and Jewish communities, whose presence goes back over 2 millennia. This long shared history creates a kind of social harmony that's rooted in a shared national culture, not just religious alignment.
So if that historical and cultural layering is the macro picture, let's bring it down to the daily level. What defines the interactions between people, especially, say, strangers?
It has to be the culture of hospitality and kindness. It's often described as an almost reflexive social reflex.
Not just being polite.
No, it's more than that. It's a deeply rooted social obligation to make sure the guest, or even just the other person, feels honored and respected. This is why shared meals, attentive conversation, and the constant offer of tea are so fundamental. They're expressions of this worldview.
And this leads us right to that fascinating and, let's be honest, sometimes confusing cultural practice, tear-off. I have to explain that one.
Right. What's so fascinating about Taraf is that it's basically a highly formalized system of politeness and mutual respect that governs almost all public interaction.
The choreography of humility.
That's a great way to put it. Offers of generosity are made, often with genuine warmth, but the expectation is that the recipient will modestly decline.
A few times, maybe.
Perhaps several times, yes, before finally accepting.
But if everyone is kind of operating under these polite deceptions, doesn't that sometimes make genuine connection harder? I mean, it sounds exhausting if you're new to it.
And that's the tension for outsiders, for sure. But socially, it serves a vital purpose. It prevents the loss of face, and it establishes mutual respect. A source gave the classic example. You're buying something at a shop. The vendor might say, "It is nothing, a gift, please take it."
They're tariffing the price.
Exactly. And you, the customer, must respectfully insist on paying the true price, maybe 3 times. It's a ritual that honors both the receiver by making the offer and the giver by acknowledging their generosity. It's a pragmatic system for navigating social interaction and showing respect.
That complex politeness is really compelling.
Yeah.
How does that translate into the foundational unit, the family?
The family is absolutely paramount. It's the core engine of emotional support and guidance. We're talking about highly integrated, often multi-generational units.
Grandparents, parents, children.
All maintaining extremely close ties. And this structure, it ensures continuity and stability. Respect for elders isn't passive. Their wisdom is actively sought for major life decisions. Everything from choosing a course of study to mediating a serious disagreement.
The cultural dividend of that close family unit must be immense. It makes the family an incubator for more than just emotional bonds. It's an incubator for education, for the rapid transmission of tradition and values.
Precisely. And you see this connection between family and history so vividly during cultural celebrations. They just bind the past to the present.
Like Nowruz.
Nowruz, the Persian New Year, is probably the biggest example. It's celebrated at the spring equinox. It symbolizes renewal and rebirth, and it's so important because it predates Islam. By celebrating Nowruz, families from all religious backgrounds affirm that continuous, shared Iranian identity.
And the centerpiece is that symbolic half-seen table.
Yes, the table is meticulously arranged with 7 symbolic items starting with the letter S in Farsi. Things like sabse, which are sprouts for rebirth, and seeb, apples for health. The whole thing involves a complete household cleaning, a spiritual renewal, and it lasts for 13 days. It's a time when family ties are just reinforced through extensive visiting. And then you have Yalda Night, which is celebrated on the longest night of the year, usually in December.
Yalda Night sounds like the opposite of Nowruz-like, staying together through the darkness.
That is exactly the message. The festival emphasizes enduring the darkness together. It involves huge family gatherings, eating specific seasonal foods like pomegranates and watermelons,
Right.
and the ritual of reciting poetry. Often they'll divine fortunes from the works of Hafez. It's tradition, poetry, and family togetherness all woven into a celebration of light over darkness.
And shared meals are the essential ritual of connection. Give us the flavor. What does Iranian cuisine tell us about its culture, its history?
It speaks volumes. Volumes about history, trade, geography. Iranian cuisine is elaborate, it's sophisticated, and it often uses long, slow cooking methods, which reflects the patience and generosity needed for real hospitality. It relies heavily on aromatic rice, often prepared as polo, where the rice is parboiled and then steamed to get that beautiful, crispy bottom layer.
The tadig.
The tadig. And achieving a perfect tadig is, it's the mark of a great cook.
What gives it that distinct, almost floral flavor profile? It's so different from other Middle Eastern cuisines.
That comes from the spices and the unique inclusion of fruits and nuts. You'll find a liberal use of saffron for color and aroma, rosewater, dried lime.
Oh, okay.
And this amazing complexity from cooking fruits like sour cherries and barberries directly into the rice or adding them to stews, the koresh. It's a cuisine that perfectly balances sweetness with sourness and richness with lightness. And underpinning all of it is the tea ritual. It's a constant formal pause for connection, a moment of shared reflection and conversation. Offering tea is an active, ongoing expression of respect.
That sense of deep-rootedness and human warmth.
Oh, yeah.
It provides such crucial context. But for people listening right now, the immediate question is always, what about the future?
Right.
How does this rich history inform a modern, globally engaged generation?
So now we shift our focus to the massive young generation. They are the driving force, and they are overwhelmingly focused on education.
It's a priority.
It's not a secondary concern. It's seen as a national project and a family responsibility, which is why the literacy rates are so high. And this societal priority has led to profound academic success, particularly in STEM fields.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That excellence in STEM is really striking. Why that specific technical focus?
Well, it links back directly to that historical ingenuity and resilience we were talking about earlier.
How so?
Just as the ancients mastered hydraulic engineering with the Qanat's incredible underground water channels that sustained civilization for millennia,
Right.
today's youth are solving modern, complex systemic challenges with technical mastery. They're frequently competing and winning awards in international Olympiads, showcasing a deep world-class capability. They view scientific knowledge as universally transferable and, essential for progress, regardless of political constraints.
That's impressive human capital.
Yeah.
Are they creating solutions that reflect both their history and their ambition, domestically?
Absolutely. There's a burgeoning innovation ecosystem, often built in spite of external challenges. Young entrepreneurs are leveraging these skills, diving deep into software development, AI, cybersecurity,
Wow.
and developing proprietary digital platforms for their market. The startup scene is dynamic, especially in biotech, health tech, and e-commerce. Their work is characterized by bridging tradition, say designing culturally specific apps, with a technical mastery that is globally competitive.
So they're creating decentralized, tech-advanced solutions to systemic problems.
That's a good way to put it.
So we have this skilled, ambitious population. Let's connect this immense human capital to the country's strategic position. How does this all play out in the global context?
We have to remember the geography. Iran is defined by incredible geological diversity. You have the towering Zagros and Alborz mountains, the vast arid deserts like Dasht-e-Kavir, and these essential coastlines on the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. This isn't just scenery, it's a strategic advantage that has shaped millennia of trade.
A strategic advantage in what sense?
Iran sits precisely at the crossroads of Central Asia, South Asia, and the Caucasus.
A natural bridge.
A natural bridge, exactly. This location allows it to function as a crucial trade corridor. And if we look at the growing investment in regional transport infrastructure railways, Ports Iran is positioned to link these regions. This ability, combined with their human capital, provides leverage that extends far beyond just their natural resources like oil and gas.
And the sources really emphasize this distinction, right?
They strongly emphasize it. Ordinary young Iranians are focused on education, entrepreneurship, and collaboration. They fundamentally want to be recognized for their skills, their ideas, their cultural contributions.
They're not defined by the political headlines.
Not at all. They are defined by their desire to build networks of knowledge and progress with the outside world. So if we synthesize all of these elements, Iran's distinct identity emerges as this unique and I'd say potent blend.
Go on.
It's a society of deep historical continuity rooted in poetry, ancient customs, complex social etiquette, but it's balanced by a proactive global openness and a fierce commitment to scientific progress and innovation. And this creates a dynamically forward-looking culture, one that's intensely proud of its past, but absolutely determined to define its future.
It's such a necessary recalibration of perspective.
Yeah.
The final takeaway for you listening is clear. The future story of Iran is being defined by the ingenuity, the resilience, and the essential human warmth of its people.
Yeah.
And they are fundamentally seeking peaceful engagement and constructive collaboration through their work and their culture.
Absolutely.
So given that the sources consistently identify Iran's most significant asset as its massive, young, highly educated, and culturally rooted population, we leave you with this final question to consider.
If this generation continues to prioritize innovation and global scientific collaboration above all else, how might this powerful, internal, knowledge-driven focus ultimately reshape Iran's global standing and diplomatic engagement, regardless of any external political pressures?